Hi, my name is Stacey Bell-Lynn. I spent 20 years working in local news, and 13 years ago, I married an NFL player turned coach, Anthony Lynn, and joined the world of NFL Superwives. I've always loved hearing about the life behind the headlines. It's where you find the common thread that connects us. That's what I want to do here. My husband played and coached for the Broncos and 49ers. He's currently the running backs coordinator for the Commanders. We've moved 6 times across the country for his various jobs. When I first met my husband, I didn't know anything about football. I just loved the commercials and the snacks. Well, trust me, that's changed. In my new NFL world, the wives became my family and confidants. It is a sisterhood that transcends teams and rivalries. In each episode, I'll talk with a significant other of a player or coach, the football wives who hold it all together. We'll get real and give you a behind-the-scenes glimpse of it all. This is the world that I want to share with you. Welcome to Superwives of the NFL, their inside stories. Let's kick it off. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Superwives of the NFL. I'm Stacey Bell-Lynn, and I'm joined by Seliana Sainristil. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Yay! Okay. Seliana is married to Mike Sainristil with the Washington Commanders. And I just feel like every week your man has a big game or like a big play.
He has. And it's been one of those like bittersweet moments because he's been doing really well as a player, but we just wish the team has been kind of on the same page. But I have faith we'll get there, hopefully by the end of the season.
I say this a lot, it's just you have 2 or 3 good years and then you have to pay the football gods, I feel like. So then you have a year that's not so great. So this is our year of paying our dues. And I know it'll get better. If not this season, next year for sure.
Yeah, I have faith. It'll be okay. We're good.
So how did you guys meet?
So Mikey and I were actually both from Boston. So we kind of had the same friend group, but never really hung out with each other. And one day he was making Haitian mac and cheese. He had posted on his story. And I had slid up with no intention of like wanting to talk to him on a serious note, but I had asked him for a plate of his mac and cheese. And yeah, that's how it started.
And the rest, is history. So you really were asking for a plate of mac and cheese in his DM. Didn't think it was going to lead to anything.
Yeah, no, I was not. He was all the way in Michigan. I was still in Boston. It was never one of those situations where I was like, oh, like we're close to each other or anything like that. So, and I didn't end up getting mac and cheese until maybe 2 years into our relationship. So there's that.
So 2 years later, you got your mac and cheese and 2 kids later, right? You guys have the cutest daughters. That's how we met. We were in the family tent and you walked in with your oldest daughter and she is just adorable. I wanted to bring her home with me.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, so we have 2 daughters, Summer and Kiani, and yeah, they're amazing. Summer's personality is top tier. She is a riot to be around.
Who's the oldest? Does she have that oldest energy?
Yeah, for the most part she does, but she's still a little girl, even though we only have I think like a year and some change gap in their ages.
Now, so you didn't start dating Mike like in junior high or high school or anything like that. You didn't meet him until he was in college. You didn't come up in this NFL world. What has been some of the surprising parts of being married to an NFL player for you?
I'm sorry, I missed a lot of that question. It might be my service.
Yeah. What have been some of the surprising parts of being married to an NFL player for you?
I will say, I think one of the most surprising things so far has been just the lifestyle in general of you don't realize how unstable the NFL is. And although you're in season and you're located, you buy a home, you start a family, you have no idea if he's going to get a call tomorrow and say, hey, got to pack up and go to a different state. So I think that's been the part that isn't mentioned as much when you do get into the league. Other than that, I think everything else we kind of expected, but it is, I feel as though like a constant anxiety on our shoulders, like, hey, something, you might end up leaving one day. But I mean, we hope to stay.
And I want to talk about that too, because you guys you homestead.
Hmm.
Okay, so
We
just I
do.
have no real idea what that is, but explain to me like what that is, and start with that. What is homesteading?
So homesteading is people kind of get it confused with having a farm. We don't have a farm because we don't provide to those outside of just our family, so that's kind of considered more of a homestead. And our plan, honestly, was just to be able to live off of our land. We bought a home with a bunch of land, and we're always getting asked, like, hey, aren't you afraid that he's going to end up leaving and you have all these animals, this, that, and the third? Um, and yeah, we are a little afraid, like, it would stink if he ended up leaving, but we love Virginia. So this will definitely be home base for a very long time until maybe he retires. And yeah, so we have a bunch of animals and we're gonna start a garden soon for next season. And yeah, be able just to live off our property if something were to ever happen.
So you have chickens, and what else? I know I've seen the chickens on,
Yeah.
'cause you have a bunch of fresh eggs. Yeah.
So we have chickens, we have goats, we have 5 dogs. We just got some quail eggs, so we have some little chicks downstairs. And we do want to add one more animal. I'm not going to mention it yet, but that's the plan. We're going to add one more and then be done with all the animals.
So what prompted you guys to do this? I feel like COVID was the what pushed a lot of people into like the
Hmm.
homesteading. So was it that for you, or was it something that you guys had just always wanted to do?
I don't know if Mikey's always wanted to do it, but I know I have, and he's kind of been, okay, we can do that. It definitely wasn't COVID. It was just more of I didn't grow up with all these things, and I definitely wanted our children to be able to live more of a holistic lifestyle when it came to living off of land that's around you. That's really important to us. So, yeah, that's kind of what started it all. Just wanting to live a healthier lifestyle, knowing that our food was grown on our property. We have fresh laid eggs in the morning, so that's the best part.
I mean, I really respect that. I do. Because, like, growing up from the South and, like, getting a lot of stuff, like, even if it wasn't from the farm, but, my grandparents would have their own eggs. My grandmother had a garden. They would kill, like, the pig themselves. I just want to go to a grocery store. But, I know, like, what you're doing is so much healthier because you control, the amount of, I guess, pesticides and all of that stuff that
Exactly.
kids are exposed to.
Exactly. That's the best part. And no, I don't plan on killing any animals if we don't have to.
That's smart. Okay, so now the other thing you're doing, I feel like you're becoming a social media influencer. Was that intentional, or did you just kind of fall into it? I'll ask you
Sorry, can
again.
you repeat that?
Yeah, I feel like you're becoming a social media influencer. Was it intentional, or did you just kind of fall into that?
I think a little bit of both. I have always enjoyed posting on social media, and I think it was one of those things that was hard for me because we would get a lot of negative comments if it was just about football stuff, and I wanted people to like really see me for who I was. And I mean, yeah, my husband's in the NFL. I do live at home with our kids, but we do have a crazy lifestyle. We have all the animals, um, and yeah, I think I've just fallen more in love with posting our life on social media and being able to influence those around us. Like, hey, you can, it is obtainable to do all these things. And I guess letting people into our lives. And I just love like socializing with anyone that has been following me for a little bit now.
So is it hard, like getting some of the negative comments that you get? How do you deal with that?
Um, Block and delete. That has been the way to go. Just block and delete. Um, yeah, we can't let it get to our head. I know Mikey gets a lot more than I do sometimes, especially after like a bad game. But we try not to pay any mind to it and keep it going, keep it pushing.
I think that's the smart thing, because when you are in this life, you are sort of a public figure, that's the truth. So people are
Mhm,
going to come for you and they're going to say things, but I don't engage with people. Like, I will block you in a minute. You don't have to be on my page,
mhm.
you can leave. So I think blocking is the best way to do it.
Exactly. It's no harm done to either parties when it's done. So, yeah, we kind of just day by day. We're learning though. Sometimes you do want to reply, but we're learning to not do that.
And no. So tell me about, the group of wives and significant others with the commanders. Like you guys seem to have a really fun group. You seem to be really close and you do a lot of things together. What is that like?
Oh my God, they're the best. They are so down to earth. I haven't met many of the other girls on other teams, so I can't speak on that, but
Mhm.
our group of girls has become like a sisterhood. Although we don't hang out every day, but when we do hang out, it's like we're a little family. If we ever need anything, they're there for you. I know when I have two under two, so when I first had Kiani, our second daughter, the amount of text messages I got that were so just helpful. They're like, if you need anything, we're right around the corner, we'll be there. Like if you need to take a nap. And it's the best feeling because when you're in the NFL, you're away from your family ultimately. So knowing that you have that sisterhood and even the bond my husband has with the teammates, it's good to know that we have a support system here, regardless, even if they're not really family, we still count them as family.
No, they are. They're family. And I feel like it's almost like with maybe your biological sisters or your cousins or whatever. I don't have to see you all the time to know you're still my
Exactly.
person and you have my back if I need you. So I
Hmm.
think sometimes those are the best types of relationships.
Exactly. Yeah, vice versa. I'd ride for those girls. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. You seem like you have a lot of fun together. And even Mike, like Anthony calls him Mikey, and I want to say Mikey, but you said that's really his name, Mikey, right?
Yeah, Mikey, yeah.
Did you get him into doing like he did the social media prank back when the season started? Where what was it? Call your friend and tell him good night.
The good night one, yeah.
Yeah.
So Mikey actually he loves social media as well. Less of showing his face, more of showing he's really into photography and videography and stuff like that. But he's always down for what I'm doing. So if I show him, babe, like look at this challenge, he's like, okay, let's do it. So I'm grateful for that. And he's a riot, so it all works out.
That was funny because the guys would answer the phone and they would be like, "What?" It was almost like, "Why are you calling me?" Like, but what are game days like for you? I know a lot of the girls now will do like they'll ride to the game together so they can have a little pregame cocktail like
Hmm.
So what is game day like?
Um, Before kids or after kids? No, but after kids. Now that I have two children, it's a little different than those that don't have kiddos, and I bet the ones that are on the moms on the team also can agree. First half of game day, you're running around with the kids, and then the other half, you get to get dressed, and um, yeah, we head out. We take the family bus, and the Commanders. I don't know if you know, but they have a family bus. I don't know if you've been on it. And yeah, we take the family bus over to the facility, and I'm with the girls. We have a good time, and that's it. Nothing, no crazy routine. We don't like to party a lot, but we do have a good time.
And that is one thing. We've been on a lot of teams, and a lot of teams do. This is the first team I feel like that's done that because where we live is so far out from the stadium. Like everybody has to live close
Mm,
to the training facility. So for people listening, so with the traffic, it can be a hike to get all the way over to the stadium on game day. So the
hmm.
commanders very generously provide a big bus. So any family members who want to go and ride the bus from the facility all the way to the stadium and come back home. And I think I've never done it, but I know people say it's a lifesaver.
Oh, it's amazing. We get to go with our friends, and then we get to come home with our guys because they arrive to the stadium on their own, and we don't have to sit in traffic and worry about the 2 hour ride. Yeah, it's great. And I
Yeah.
swear the bus driver, he works some magic behind the wheel because he just gets through all the traffic, gets us there on time and stress free, put it that way.
Yeah, I drove a couple of weeks ago. It took 2 hours for me to go 30 minutes. I wanted to cry. I was a mess by
Yeah.
the time I got, so I'm not driving again. Gosh, I was going to ask you something else. Oh, so the other thing that commanders do that's really cool, and a lot of teams do this, they have daycare for the players and coaches' families. So do you take the kids? Do they go to daycare or do you leave them home?
I leave them at home. I want to start taking our daughters. I've taken Summer to one game. I
Hmm.
will say it is a lot, like running around with your toddler, and those games are long. But now that they do provide daycare, I want to end up bringing her. I haven't used it. I have heard from mothers though that it's great, and I'm glad the commanders provide it. But my kiddos stay at home for now, especially if it's a late game. We very much prioritize our nighttime routine. So if I don't have to break the routine, I won't do it.
Look, I'm an adult and the nighttime games throw off my routine, so I get
Us
it.
too.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Um,
We need our sleep.
so your game day outfits, you wear some really cute stuff like a lot of the wives for game day. How do you select your outfits?
I, depending on the game, I do work with a girl. Her name's Charlene,
Mhm.
Style by Charlene. She has helped me with some of the outfits. I'm not the most fashionable. I'm a very simple girl. So any of my outfits that look like, oh wow, that's really nice. I probably didn't come up with it. She did. So, yeah, I use her for most of my outfits because it's just another thing I don't have to worry about.
Right.
And yeah,
And it's fun. It's like that's the big day of the week where you get to dress up and put on a little makeup and leave the house. So I think that's fun for a lot of the women involved in this.
exactly. We are home all day taking care of the house, and it's a blessing, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we do get our moments to step out, and of course, we want to look good when we step out. So, I get a little help with mine.
That is fine. Why I wanted to start doing this podcast because I wanted to highlight, just the NFL sisterhood. And I think there are so many cool stories like people like you behind the scenes that, the fans don't get to meet. So, we talked about how the NFL sisterhood has been there for you. But if
Yeah.
you could be an example and be a friend to like some other younger girl coming into this life, what
hmm
advice would you give them?
I think my biggest advice would be don't get caught up in the life, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
very easy to, I know the NFL and being NFL wife is glamorized in a sense. But just stay true to your roots and where you came from because as easy as you got into I mean, the men work really hard to get in, but marrying someone who may be in the league, it can be taken away very quickly. Um, and I will say utilize the connections that you make. You don't know who you're going to meet at a game day. You don't know where one of the wives might end up being. So I think just making sure that you connect with your peers around you is really important because those ultimately that's going to be your people when you're away from your family. So just stay close to those around you.
That is so true. I thought of a few more things I wanted to talk about with your husband. He played for Michigan.
He did, yeah.
Okay. So last year when we went back and played the Lions, that was a big game because he had a big interception. And I remember seeing the video, you and some of the other girls were together and you just lost it. That had to be pretty cool, pretty
It
exciting,
was
right?
amazing. I'm low-key getting chills from it right now. Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Michigan, and so I remember that game day, and even the past game that we had just last week. So many people were DMing me, and they're like, "We love you guys, but today we have to root for the Lions
Yeah.
because obviously go blue." But yeah, it was. I wish I was at the game. I love my Detroit people, but uh yeah, I'm really proud of him and what he's done in his career thus far.
Yeah, and I get that. We got friends all over the place and family, and people will say, "Oh, I root for you, but I'm a Cowboys fan," and I'm like, "That's great,
hmm
as long as you don't sit in my seats, because if you sit in my husband paid for, you're Team Lynn. Otherwise, you can root for whomever you want to."
Exactly. Yeah, we keep it cordial. There's
Yeah.
a lot of um a lot of fans for Mikey and now I don't yeah, people who follow me as well. Yeah, we keep it cordial. There's a lot of banter that goes back and
Yeah.
forth, but we know it's love at the end of the day. It's never that deep.
Exactly, exactly. Um, thank you for joining us. I know you have a lot going on, but I just wanted you to hop on because, I think you're so sweet and I see you at the games and the family tent and stuff. And, I just like what you guys are doing with the homestead. I think that's so cool. So thank you for joining me today. Oh, and you also have a photography business. You're doing something else. You're dipping your toe in photography.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that last one?
Yeah,
That last part.
you're dipping your toe in photography. You're going to do that too.
Yes. So, yeah, I just started taking photos again. I used to do this in high school, a little bit in college. I took, like, when we needed just extra credits, I would take photography classes. it's definitely been something I have always loved, but I was playing soccer overseas and um, then we had kids, we got married, and now that I'm getting used to being a mom of two, I'm like, I need to find something for me. And I think this will be a really good outlet so I can get back on my creative side outside of being a mom and having the homestead and all that.
Okay, so wait a minute. I just heard something else. You played soccer overseas?
Yeah.
With who? Like where?
So didn't last very long. I didn't have the best experience. But yeah, I've played soccer my whole life and COVID happened. I was supposed to end up in Germany and I didn't, obviously I wasn't able to travel. We were stuck at home. So I took some time off of soccer and then I ended up pursuing it again. I think it was 2020 or 2021. I want to say 2021, right after COVID. Um, and I ended up in Macedonia, Greece. I played over there for a little bit. Again, I didn't last very long. It wasn't the best experience, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I won. Yeah, well, we can leave it at that. It was a good time.
Well, I mean, I'm impressed. And see, I didn't know that. I guess I didn't do my homework. I didn't, and I've seen you post soccer stuff on your page, but I didn't know you played. That's so.
Yeah,
That's why I do this because people need to know these things.
yeah, I love soccer. Yeah, I used to coach. I used to play. The plan is to get back into coaching. There's just not many opportunities out here, and obviously, with my husband's career, it's kind of hard. And now we have two kids. Um, And I think that's another part of like being in the NFL. People don't realize you sacrifice a lot being a wife. So, yeah, I've kind of put those things to the side and we have our agreement when he retires, it'll be my turn to pursue, um, what I've always wanted to do, which was definitely be a soccer coach. So, yeah.
And it will. Like I have friends who are on the other side of this who, their husbands played and now the kids are adults and the husbands are retired or they're a little bit more stable and they're getting back out there and they can, they're working or they're starting a podcast or whatever it is they want to do. Like that time
hmm
is going to come around a lot quicker than what you think it will.
Yeah, we know we're very much God's timing, God's plan. So when the time is right for us, it'll happen. And don't get me wrong, there's days that it definitely it's not the best feeling. I'm kind of I do want to be able to pursue what I want to do, but we know that this is all for a bigger purpose. Like as someone, at least one parent is home with our children, and when it's my turn, he'll be home with them.
Yeah. And that's, I don't have biological kids. I have my stepkids, but to me, if you mess up raising your kids, nothing else really matters. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no take two on that. So,
Absolutely. No, you get another career, but you only get one chance to raise your kids.
yep.
Oh, I was going to ask, like, do you have FOMO? Like I kind of do, not being in Madrid this week.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was just talking to one of the other wives for the Dolphins, and she's also home with her kids, and we were like, wow, we wish we were there. Mikey, he was just calling me, and he's like, yeah, he's showing me him shopping. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do this tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
I'm just
I'll be here.
fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely having FOMO, but I did get to spend some time on that side of the world, so I know we'll have our chance. I'm surprised you didn't go.
I did not. I set this one out. I'm like I can't go everywhere, so yeah, I'm missing this one. So
It's
yeah,
okay.
I know it's okay.
You
I can't do everything, but
off
that brought me to
season.
another question. Off season, Anthony's going to take me somewhere in the off season. Who picked out Mike's game day outfits? Because he is like 10, 10, 10 across the board.
This season, it's been amazing. I don't know the stylist's name, and I wish I did. But he's amazing. I think his name is Cam.
Okay.
It's definitely not me. I wish I could style him like that. I cannot. And last year he got so much hate for some of his outfits, and this year I'm like, I'm glad he toned it down. He's keeping it a lot more classy and timeless. So, yeah, he's killing it. This season they're nice, right?
Yeah. And it's so funny. Anthony was saying something about guys carrying purses. And I said, well, it's more like, satchels. It's not a purse. But he didn't get it. And I think there was one of your husband with like a really nice game day. It was more like a satchel. And I was like, okay, here, this is what it is. And he said, oh,
You're
no,
like,
it's
this
not
is
a purse.
nice.
It's more like a book bag. But yeah.
I'll be real. One of them last year kind of it was giving purse, and he's like, I don't want this anymore, and he gave it to me. And the amount of compliments I get from women, they're like, "Where'd you get your purse?" And it makes me laugh because I'm like, I got it from my husband. But
I'll take
yeah, yeah. I was like, you know what? It's okay.
Okay, last question. I'm so excited, even though my Spanish is terrible, about Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. So are
Please
you,
tell me you're going.
I want to go. I would kill to be in the Bay Area listening to Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. I'm probably
hmm
not going. I'll probably be at home with a coquito or something, but I'm
Uh,
so
not the
excited.
coquito.
Did I say it right?
No, you said it right. That's perfect. I'm actually gonna go make some for the holidays. So yeah.
Oh, I'll be there for the holidays, so I'm for real. I'll come to the
I
house and get it.
I know I'll set a bottle with Mikey for you so you can give it
Okay.
to your husband if you're around.
I know I'll be around, but how cool is that we got Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl?
I think it's amazing. His message, not to get all political with it, but sometimes you need to. And his message is powerful. What he's doing is a lot deeper than what people are realizing. And he's just an amazing artist. He sold out in Puerto Rico, and I was sad I missed it. I was pregnant, so I couldn't travel to Puerto Rico. But now I get to relive it. I mean, not relive it. Now I get a chance to live it, and at the Super Bowl. So I know we probably won't be playing there, but I'll definitely be there watching.
So you're planning to go to see the halftime show?
Yeah, that's the plan. We have Airbnb is booked,
Okay,
and I will be. Yeah, I need to see him in person for
okay.
sure.
Well, I'm going to be retweeting and re-Instagramming all of your pictures and videos from that.
Please.
All right, Shelly, thanks for joining me once again. Seliana Sainristil, her husband is Mike Sainristil with the Commanders. I feel like we were saying he makes a big play almost every weekend. We're not going to jinx him this weekend in Madrid. But Sally, thank you for joining me. This was so much fun. And Superwives of the NFL, you can find us wherever you find your podcast.
Okay, thanks for listening, and thanks in advance for liking this podcast and leaving a review. Meet you here next week.